We're back, another Monday meal with Mr. Blaze. We took off last week, we were out of town, couldn't really get it filmed, but we have something going that's very easy to make this week, and it's on the sweeter side. We've been doing a lot of savory things. This one is definitely something that is sweeter and a bit easier to make, and some people call it an Oreo cookie ball, some people call it an Oreo truffle. We're gonna call it maybe a cookie pop, and you'll see why, because it's kind of like a riff on a cake pop, but a very easy thing to make. A few simple ingredients. Really, the two main ingredients, obviously, if you're going to make an Oreo cookie pop, you need Oreos. You need 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese. And then we're going to cover ours in everybody's favorite chocolate, a Hershey bar, which I'll show you how to melt in a double boiler. So it's pretty simple. We're going to put the Oreos in a gallon Ziploc bag, like this, smash them all up, cream and everything, into kind of like a paste, and then mix it with the cream cheese and form them into kind of like a ball or a cylindrical shape, and we're going to pop them in the fridge for an hour. So it's going to take a while to make this, but it is very easy, and it really doesn't involve cooking, because you could just eat them as is, but the cooking part certainly is going to be using a double boiler. Since I'm going to put these in a bag and smash them up, I'm going to need some help, so my sous chef will be in just a second. We'll be back and show you what it looks like. Phase 2, and you can see I have my little helper here. So we put an entire pack of Oreos in a freezer bag. Well, an entire pack minus one, because Kylie had to sample them. So a trick for getting these smashed up is you want to get as much of the air out as possible. But obviously if you have air in the bag and you hit it with the hammer, the bag's going to fly open. So you want to get as much air out as you can. And then what I typically do is I also put it in a towel. Sweetie, back up a little bit. I put it under a towel and kind of get it started a little bit just with my hands. You could use a meat hammer or a tenderizer, just use the flat side, and that's what Kylie's going to help with. So she's going to hit these, a bit like this, not crazy, but she's going to help me smash them up. Every now and then, we pull the bag out. You can see they're already starting to break up a little bit. We'll pull the bag out, move them around a little bit, put them back under the towel, and we keep smashing.
Okay, Dad.
So we'll show you what it looks like when it's totally finished. And then we're pretty much going to mix in the cream cheese, like I said, form it into a ball shape or a little cylinder shape, and then pop them in the fridge for an hour. So Kylie's going to get smashing here, and we'll show you what it looks like when we're done.
Okay, I'll mash. Dad, look. How do the cookies look?
They look pretty good. Keep smashing. So Kylie's been hard at work, smashed up the entire pack of Oreos.
See?
Well, entire pack minus one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those now and dump them into a big bowl.
We are going to dump them into a big bowl. I'm going to help my dad just crumble it down. We didn't do it so much because it is so
And I would imagine you can try to do this in a food processor. That will, I would imagine, work just as well. But
yeah.
What you're looking for, back up, sweetie. What you're looking for is this consistency. It's kind of what they would put on ice cream sundae if you got an Oreo cookie topping. Then what we're going to add to that is 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Softened would probably be recommended. Right? This just came out of the fridge maybe 5 minutes ago. But if you use cream cheese that is softened, it's going to mix up a little bit easier. We're going to mix this up with a spoon. If you're doing it at home, you can use gloves. It's probably a little bit easier, but we're going to mix it up with a spoon.
Yeah.
And then we'll show you what the final mix looks like. At that point, I need to put it in the fridge for an hour. You'll be able to help me mix it up. And then we'll roll them in the balls. I'll show you the double boiler, and we'll wrap this up.
Blow it up. Right? Can I help blow it up, Dad?
You can.
Yeah.
Okay, got it mixed up after a very thorough forearm workout. Like I said, I used a spatula, a rubber spatula, but it might be easier to use room temp cream cheese or mix it with your hands. And again, you could probably try it in a food processor. I just don't know if the heat in there would kind of make the cream cheese break down, but it's something you can certainly try. So I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, pop it in the fridge, and let it really chill and get nice and cold, because then I need to roll it into a ball shape with my hands. And since my hands are 100 degrees, as I start pulling this out of here now, the cream cheese is going to really get, kind of melty and it's going to get messy. So I want to keep it as cold as I can and then I'm going to put them on a wax paper lined sheet just so they don't stick to it, and then I'll show you how to finish them by dipping them in chocolate. All right, we're back. They've been in the fridge for about 45 minutes or so, and I'm pressed for time, so I just got to get moving. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this ice cream scooper and kind of scoop out a chunk of it and then form it in, kind of roll it like a meatball, form it into a ball, and get them on the tray. Now I have one that I already rolled, and now looking at the size of this, it's about, maybe the size of a ping pong ball. That's about what I'm going for. And I'm not going to sit here and bore you with me making all of them, but, scoop it out, roll it into a ball, and you want to keep them all about the same size, but, like I said, about a ping pong ball is what I'm going for. It does kind of help to have some paper towel here in front of you, or a towel, because your hands definitely get a little messy with this. Now I have them all rolled out. You can see I got 16 of these cookie pops. I probably rolled them, now looking at them, a little big, considering that this was an entire pack of Oreos and an entire pack of cream cheese. So don't hold the creator accountable for increased waist size. This certainly is not, something you want to eat 3 or 4 of these. One is probably, it's a very decadent, rich type of treat, especially since we're going to now cover it in chocolate. It's going to make it even richer, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some toothpicks and put some toothpicks in each one of these so that it's easy then for me to dip into the chocolate. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how to set up a double boiler to easily melt your chocolate. All right, so we switched locations. We're over here at the stove. This is just a simple pot, and what I have in it is a glass Pyrex bowl. And you can see lots of condensation on the bottom. The key thing with the double boiler is it's just a pot on the bottom with some water in it. I have it on a low setting, so the bowl in here is warm. It's not hot, and this bowl cannot be in the water. You want to keep it above the water, so it's just the water's evaporating. It's heating up the bottom of that bowl, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chocolate bar, break it up into some chunks, and toss it in there, get it melted, and I'll show you the final step of just giving these things a little dip in it. Then if you want to put some sprinkles on it, get creative. You could do red, white, blue sprinkles for Independence Day. You could do your child's favorite color. You could do a theme for, if we were going to do, my daughter loves Peppa Pig, so we could sprinkle pink all over these, put little candy eyeballs on them and make little pigs. If you get creative, that's kind of the fun, the art part of this. But the double boiler is simple, because the key is, like I said, you don't want this glass dish in the boiling water. You want it above the water, so the water in there is evaporating. It's heating up, it's evaporating, comes up, gets in the inside of this bowl nice and hot. Because if it's in the water, the chocolate could get too hot and it kind of gets a weird consistency. It breaks down. All right, time to wrap it up. So you could see in my double boiler here again, perfectly melted chocolate. The water under it is hot. The bowl's not sitting in the water, but I have my cake pops here. I popped them actually in the freezer because I wanted to get them nice and cold. And this is where, again, you can get as creative as you want. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip about half of it in because I don't want it totally covered in chocolate. Pull it out, let the excess drip off, and then over to my chilled wax paper. You can, put one half in like this if you wanted to do, you could do dark chocolate on one side, and then you could have white chocolate, kind of flip it and put white chocolate on the other side. But that's where, like I said, you could get as creative as you want. I'm actually going to do some of these, just a little chocolate topper on it, something like that, and then maybe put some sprinkles on it just to add a little extra layer of chocolate. So, you don't have to get totally crazy with having chocolate all over it. But I know Mrs. Blaze loves chocolate and Kylie loves chocolate, so, maybe we'll do a couple extra chocolate for those guys, and some I'll probably just let plain, but that's pretty much it. It's an easy thing to make. Like I said, really the only cooking involved is this, so that's where you're going to need an adult or a parent maybe to help, but you can also melt chocolate in a microwave. I just find this works better because it stays in this kind of perfect melted consistency. So I'm going to get these nice and cold, probably pop them back in the fridge and let the chocolate set up, and then maybe enjoy one later with dinner. If you make them, I would love to find out how it turned out, or if you have a variation on it. I would imagine you can use like Nilla wafers and cream cheese and smash those up the same way. You could probably use double stuffed Oreos, although these are just regular. But any of those, different Oreo flavors would work as well. Try it, give it a shot. Let me know how it goes.